And here we are at the fourth Back to the Lab. I'm really happy to be here with Jonathan Burrows and Alesandra Seutin, and we've got a whole bunch of new choreographers to work with. Some choreographers have been here before in the context of open heart surgery, but it's really exciting as always.
Choreography is really important to me because I think when you're a performer, you get such a great sense of an audience reaction on stage. But when you're a choreographer sitting in the audience and seeing how people react to your choreography, it equals to me that same feeling as a standing ovation or something like that.
I really love to keep hold of the element of rawness that a freestyler can bring, but also really hone in on the quality of detail and longevity that certain bits of choreography can offer, depending on the person that is performing it. I've never really had or put myself in opportunities or found opportunities to experience how I develop work in my own manner of control.
Hello, my name is Aisha Fukushima. I'm a singer, a speaker, as well as a raptivist. That's a rap activist. At the heart of raptivism is knowing that we don't just write verses, we write universes. And so in that way, I enliven the voice as a way to continue to have more tools to tell the stories that we have to tell.
The suggestions and ideas, I feel like it's going to contribute to my choreographic practice, and it's going to be interesting to see how I further this understanding. There's so many platforms out there that help me to voice what I want to say, and I think that's really important for any artist to really voice your opinions or what you feel like is important.
A lot of the time, especially when you're going to get music with vocals on it or words or lyrics, you're bound to the energy and the story of the song. Whereas if you're trying to talk with another producer or another composer, you can try and elevate your idea and your intention in a much, I think, clearer way.
My role in the process is to talk to not just the choreographers, also the dancers, and try and help them get a better understanding of the process of how you light a piece on stage. And it's not a huge amount of time, but it's still an amount of time that will allow us to try things out, things that they maybe hadn't thought about, and see if there's something that they enjoy that they haven't done before.
I was overwhelmed in the most positive way possible. I got all this information thrown at me, and I stopped for a second. I was like, geez, can I actually choreograph? I don't know, who am I?
There's so much on offer, and I think it's really needed to allow the hip-hop makers to have the space to think about different ways of expressing their work, their ideas, telling longer stories rather than 5 minutes quick, a snap of something, but having the time to explore different ways, to be influenced, to strip it out, to strip it back in, to fragment it, to rip it out, to bring the ideas, to try different ways. I think it's really a good opportunity for those who want to question that.
It was interesting. I was nervous coming back in to work with a whole new group of people for the third year because of course, a lot of the same issues come up, but people clearly like to gather like this and hear what each other is thinking and doing and wishing and doubting and struggling with. So I think whenever you create a situation like Back to the Lab, it's about a gathering of artists. Our role is just to help facilitate that and support that in some way.
I really felt like the way I make work was really being scrutinized, and they weren't scrutinizing me, I was scrutinizing myself, and I think that was the kind of point to explore a different way of looking into movement or a different way of starting a choreographical journey with a piece that you're making. The way they look, not just at the work, but at the world, really influences their choices and what they say, and you just learn. That's what it's about, understanding different perspectives and gaining different people's knowledge, to grow.
Together they really just welcomed the person that I want, could, or possibly am in a creative space to just be more present, basically. They really did help with that.
I needed to look at things in a different way, and I think if I hadn't have done this, perhaps my choreographic journey might have gone stale from my perspective or just from an audience's perspective. So if you can get on this course, if this is something that you want to pursue, if you want to be a choreographer that has a fruitful journey, then I think it's so valuable to do this.
Before this course, I was a bit streamlined, whereas now I have these pathways I can kind of go onto that will still revolve around my one direction, and it can kind of, rather than being so straight, it kind of expands the pathway.
This added clarity to what I've done in my past. Therefore, I know that I can carry on walking this pathway because what I've uncovered is more awareness and more truth about myself and my responsibilities in hip-hop, outside of hip-hop.
There should be no doubt in your head about doing a course like this. You've got crazy geniuses on this, man. Like Einstein, Jonzi D's like Einstein, man. Black Einstein.
Just learning so much, and I'm just mind blown by all the dancers here, what they bring in, how much energy there is in the room. So I feel completely free to do what I want. It's amazing.
I've been as raw as I can be with like my body, myself and my style, and the people that I've been around, I've just been able to trust them and their body of work.
It's definitely a challenge, so I'm trying to bring out like these are the styles that influence me, and to like stick with that and then stick with the specificity of the tasks as well is quite challenging.
I think Carrie got what she wanted from the audience. I think the words they shouted out and their perception of what it was about was right, and I think the most important thing for her, because she was so out of her comfort zone, was that it still made sense. So I think she got that. I'll miss it.
Yeah.
Those can be your closing credits.